The Middle East conflict has entered a volatile new phase, with Iran, the United States, and allied forces intensifying both military signaling and narrative warfare. At the center of this escalation lies Kharg Island, one of Iran's most critical economic and strategic assets. Iranian officials have moved quickly to project control and stability over the island, even as reports of military buildup and possible confrontation continue to emerge. In a public statement delivered from the island, a senior Iranian parliamentary figure attempted to reassure both domestic and international audiences. He said, "Security is completely established on the island. Our armed forces are committed and sworn that if any aggressor violates this Iranian island, they will certainly face the harshest response and will not return alive." The message was unmistakable. Iran is drawing a red line around Kharg Island. Kharg Island is not just symbolic, it is economically indispensable. The island reportedly handles up to 90% of Iran's crude oil exports, making it a lifeline for the country's economy. Any disruption here would have immediate global consequences, especially for oil markets already strained by the ongoing war. At the same time, the nearby Strait of Hormuz remains one of the world's most critical maritime choke points. Recent developments have seen Iran tightening its grip over the strait, triggering alarm across global markets and prompting strong reactions from Washington and its allies. Parallel to these reassurances, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has made bold claims about its military actions in the Persian Gulf. According to Iranian state-linked media, the IRGC announced a major retaliatory strike under what it calls Operation True Promise 4. The operation allegedly targeted U.S. naval assets and personnel in the region. In an official statement, the IRGC claimed, he said, in continuation of the 84th wave of Operation True Promise 4, the IRGC naval units conducted a hybrid operation hitting American troops and their tactical hardware precisely. The same statement went further. He said 3 of the combat vessels sank after the retaliatory strikes, whilst the rest are aflame. A large number of American terrorists were killed. These claims, however, remain unverified by independent sources. In modern conflicts, competing narratives often emerge alongside battlefield developments, making verification difficult. Still, the messaging itself is significant. It signals Iran's attempt to project strength and deterrence at a moment of heightened tension. Reports indicate that Iran is not relying solely on rhetoric. Defensive preparations around Kharg Island appear to be intensifying. Military sources suggest that Iranian forces have deployed anti-personnel and anti-armor mines, additional troop reinforcements, and coastal defense systems. These measures indicate that Tehran is preparing for the possibility of a U.S.-led amphibious or ground assault. Meanwhile, the United States has reportedly deployed elements of the 82nd Airborne Division to the region, moves widely interpreted as contingency planning rather than immediate invasion intent. Despite speculation about a ground operation, Washington has publicly downplayed the likelihood of such a move. Marco Rubio addressed reporters and emphasized that U.S. objectives could be achieved without deploying ground troops. He said, "We can achieve all of our objectives without any ground troops." He also suggested that the timeline for the conflict may be limited. He said the operation could conclude in weeks, not months. This reflects a strategic approach focused on air power, naval dominance, and precision strikes rather than prolonged occupation. At the political level, Donald Trump has taken an aggressive stance, framing the conflict as a decisive success for the United States. In a series of remarks, he portrayed Iran's military capabilities as severely degraded. He said over the past 27 days, the U.S. armed forces have been annihilating Iran's military capacity with force, precision, skill like the world has never seen. He continued with sweeping claims. He said Iran's Navy is gone. It's all sunk. Their Air Force is dead, totally, completely dead, and further escalated the rhetoric regarding Iranian leadership. He said their leaders are all dead. Their supreme leader is no longer supreme. However, verified developments indicate a more complex reality. Iran's leadership structure has changed following recent strikes, but authority remains intact under new leadership. This highlights the gap between political messaging and confirmed developments on the ground. A central issue driving the conflict is control over the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway carries a significant portion of the world's oil supply, and any disruption has immediate global economic consequences. Iran has hinted at controlling or restricting passage, while the United States insists that international waters must remain open. Marco Rubio warned. He said it's dangerous to the world. It's important that the world have a plan to confront it. The stakes extend far beyond the region, making this not just a military conflict, but a global economic concern. The conflict is no longer confined to Iran and the United States. Recent developments show missile strikes by Iran-linked groups across the region, U.S. personnel affected in Gulf states, expanded Israeli operations targeting Iranian infrastructure, and involvement from other regional actors. These actions signal a widening war with multiple fronts. Despite the ongoing military operations, there are conflicting signals about diplomacy. Donald Trump claimed negotiations are already underway. He said they are negotiating, they're begging to make a deal. However, Iran has publicly denied engaging in talks, creating uncertainty about whether any real diplomatic channel exists. Reports suggest the United States may be using sustained military and economic pressure to force concessions, particularly regarding nuclear capabilities, missile programs, and freedom of navigation. One of Washington's central concerns remains Iran's nuclear program. Donald Trump reiterated his longstanding position. He said, "I would never allow the world's #1 state sponsor of terror to obtain a nuclear weapon." This objective continues to shape U.S. strategy, even as analysts note that Iran retains some operational capabilities despite heavy damage to its infrastructure. Beyond the battlefield, both sides are engaged in intense information warfare. Iran's messaging emphasizes victory narratives and heavy enemy losses, while the United States focuses on dominance and precision success. As is often the case in modern conflicts, the full picture remains difficult to verify in real time. Several scenarios now appear possible. There could be controlled de-escalation if diplomatic efforts gain traction. Alternatively, the conflict may continue through limited strikes and regional engagements. A ground escalation remains less likely, but would carry significant consequences if it occurs. The situation remains fluid, dangerous, and highly unpredictable. Kharg Island has emerged as a critical flashpoint not just for Iran, but for global energy security. The Strait of Hormuz continues to sit at the center of strategic calculations. While leaders on both sides project confidence, the risks of miscalculation are rising. As military operations intensify alongside competing narratives, the conflict has clearly moved beyond a localized confrontation. It is now a regional crisis with global consequences.